I'm really liking how that last chord really lifts it up. I think that's for sure my favorite progression from this video. Hey, my name's Seamus. I play in two shoegaze bands called Freedom Colors and Baby Teeth, and I'm going to show you 10 of my favorite shoegaze chord progressions. There's a free MIDI pack and chord chart in the description with all of these chords. A lot of these chords have open strings ringing out between chord changes, chorus, phaser, and reverb as effects layered over top. This sort of helps the chords blend together and create a movement and a washy atmospheric feel. Let's get into it. This is one of the more common progressions in this kind of music. You may have heard this in songs like Slowdive's Catch the Breeze. The thing that makes this progression really work is the use of the open strings ringing out between chords. Starting on the C sharp minor 7, the B and E string are ringing out. Moving to the B sus4, the B and E string continue to ring out, and landing on the A add 9, the B and E string are still ringing out. The bass notes are moving while the top strings continue to ring out, and this contrast is what creates that floating sort of feeling. So the roots are descending, but the top of the voicing doesn't move at all. This is a good one to start with if you're new to this style. Number 2. You've heard this chord progression 1,000 times across all different kinds of genres, but listen to what Ride does with this on Vapor Trail.
First you look so strong, then you fade away.
This is similar to the last progression where the top 2 strings are ringing out the whole time. Across all these 4 chords, I'm really just moving a few fingers around between strings while the top 2 are still ringing out the whole time, same as the last progression. This is a good thing to experiment with in this genre. Choose some chord shapes, move them around the neck, and keep a few open strings ringing out the whole time and see how they interact with the rest of the chord shape. I really like this progression, but stay tuned till the end of the video because some of the last ones are my favorite. Number 3. You'll find these chords in the chorus of Catherine Wheel's Black Metallic. They're pretty powerful, and I'll explain why. The F major chord in the key of G is what really gives it this power. The flat 7, borrowed from the Mixolydian mode, removes a note that would normally bring you back home. So the progression just becomes circular. It loops without ever really feeling finished. For shoegaze, that's often what you want, the feeling of no beginning and no end, and this progression does that really well. Number 4. So this one is from Lush's Sweetness and Light, and it's a really good example of what open strings can do to a chord. Obviously it starts pretty pure with that E5, and moving the same shape down to the D, while the B and E string continue to ring out. There's a little offset in a way where returning to the E5 feels really rewarding and natural. This is what really separates shoegaze chord voicings from those in regular rock guitar. A pianist would have to deliberately voice all those upper extensions. Here, you can just let those 2 strings ring out. Oh, and if you've liked this video so far, don't forget to like and subscribe. Number 5. The whole verse of Slowdive's Allison is just these two chords going back and forth, and it works really well. Heavy delay and tremolo smears these chords together so they almost sound like they're happening at the same time. You're sort of just suspended there in the verse, waiting for the chorus. I think it's a great reminder that simple, done with intention, can be really powerful. Number 6. This progression is a bit more driving than the rest of the progressions we've covered so far. A notable use of this progression is in Chapter House's Pearl. The C major in the key of D is another flat 7 borrowed from Mixolydian, but here it doesn't create a loop, it creates momentum. This is a good one to reach for when you want that shoegaze texture, but also want the track to feel like it's going somewhere. It works really well with a driving rhythm section underneath. Number 7. This one's a more ethereal progression, leaning more towards the dream pop nature of bands like Cocteau Twins. It's less about volume and more about weightlessness. Because this progression goes 1, 3, 4, the result feels almost gravity-free. You don't have any hard resolutions, looping back and forth. It just goes up and up. If you're looking to make dream pop, these chords with some modulation, delay, and reverb is a great place to start. Number 8. These two chords provide the foundation for the chorus of Slowdive's When the Sun Hits. It's just D and F sharp minor going back and forth. Neither of these chords is the one, it's just moving between the 4 and the 6. So you're just suspended in space where it never really resolves. It's a good reminder that two chords with the right voicings and the right arrangement can carry an entire chorus. Parallel planing. This is a cool one. It's all the same chord shape, just sign me up. Yeah. Number 9. So this is where we leave traditional harmony behind almost entirely. You'll hear chord progressions like this in My Bloody Valentine's Only Shallow, where the same chord shape just moves up the neck. This chord progression uses a lot of open fifths and sus2s, where the proper use of effects and the tremolo arm can create a very nice blurry sound. What I like about this progression is the tonal center just keeps moving and you can never really tell what's coming next. This is one of my favorite progressions on this list, and it uses an alternate tuning. D, A, D, A, D. You'll hear this in My Bloody Valentine's sometimes, and it starts with a D5, which is just all strings ringing out open. What I really like about this progression is how the open tuning does most of the harmonic work. Every chord shares those open A and D strings, but the relationships with the rest of the chord keep changing. Those fretted notes are just gently changing what that drone means. Experimenting with different open or alternate tunings and how different voicings of chords relate to the open strings that ring out between them is a great way to come up with new progressions. Leave a comment below if you want to see a video on that. These 10 chord progressions are really nice and easy to experiment with when making shoegaze music. You can find the free MIDI pack and the chord chart for these progressions in the description. If you want to hear how some of these chord shapes work in an actual full production, check out this video here.